Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
We are beginning tonight with an accidental shooting in a Seaside classroom. Certainly a scary incident, and for one parent, doubly so after learning that their child was hurt. Not badly.
Not badly, but not the call that a parent wants to get. Dennis Alexander is a teacher at Seaside High School. He's also a reserve police officer with Sand City PD. He was apparently giving a public safety lesson in the classroom. The gun went off while pointed at the ceiling.
We're told 3 students were injured by falling debris, and tonight we are hearing from one of them. Action News reporter Sierra Starks is live in Seaside with tonight's top story.
Yeah, good evening, Aaron. The student you're about to hear from told us that usually in these public safety demonstrations, a prop gun is used, but this time it was a real gun. 17-year-old Furman Gonzalez was one of the students injured when his teacher, Dennis Alexander, was checking to see if the gun he brought to his administration of justice class was loaded. That's when it accidentally went off.
You could see like splatters on the ceiling, like splatters of the fragments on the ceiling.
Some of those fragments ended up in Furman's neck.
And then I look at my shirt like that, and there's like blood on my shirt, and then I like wipe my neck kind of, and a bullet fragment comes off my neck.
Furman says Mr. Alexander excused himself for a moment, came back and apologized, but class continued.
I left school to make sure the metal was out of my neck.
That's when he called his dad.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I just kept saying, what? On the phone, what? I couldn't believe it. It's just so crazy that the teacher teaching them about gun safety shoots one off and hits the ceiling, and then hearing that he got hit was just, just crazy.
Firearms are forbidden in classrooms around the Monterey Peninsula Unified School District.
We have to have a safe environment for our kids, and clearly in this incident, it was not, protocols were not followed.
Mr. Alexander has been a reserve police officer for Sand City for more than a decade. This incident at Seaside High comes at a time when the national debate about arming teachers now hitting close to home for this Seaside family.
Because this was an incident with a trained professional. If you just give them to everybody, a teacher at the school, this could happen again and again, and it could be a lot worse.
Now again, Mr. Alexander has been placed on administrative leave while the school district is conducting its investigation, and we're told that this incident took place before 11 a.m. Now that's when this class takes place, but police weren't called to the school until about 1:30 in the afternoon, and now Seaside police are involved in the investigation as it is against the law to shoot a firearm within city limits. Aaron.
All right, Sierra, thank you. The school district superintendent says even though a gun was fired on school grounds, the school was not placed on lockdown and parents were not notified until immediately after school because they determined that the safety of students was not threatened.
Kids injured as school cop shoots gun in a class, officials cover it up, wounded kid blows whistle. Not one, but 2 school cops discharged firearms in schools this week. One of the officers injured multiple students in the process, and the media and school officials attempted to cover it up. By John Vibes, March 15, 2018. Alexandria, VA, this Tuesday morning, a teacher who also serves as a reserve police officer accidentally fired his gun at a school in Seaside, California, while instructing a class on firearm safety. 3 students were injured, and 1 was hospitalized, but the school did not report the incident, nor did they notify the parents or seek medical help for the injured children. The most badly injured of the 3 went home to his father covered in blood with a serious wound, and bullet fragments lodged into his neck. According to Seaside Police Chief Abdul Pridgan, Officer Dennis Alexander was pointing the gun at the ceiling when he accidentally fired, sending bullet fragments to ricochet across the classroom. The school resumed classes as normal and later told reporters that the students had minor injuries, but one father disagrees. Fermin Gonzalez, the father of the 17-year-old boy who was hospitalized, said that the school never notified parents about the incident. He's shaken up, but he's going to be okay. I'm just pretty upset that no one told us anything and we had to call the police ourselves to report it, Gonzalez told KSBW. It's the craziest thing. It could have been very bad, Gonzalez added. According to Seaside Superintendent P.K. Diffenbaugh, this was not an authorized course. I think a lot of questions on parents' minds are, why a teacher would be pointing a loaded firearm at the ceiling in front of students. Clearly in this incident protocols were not followed, Diffenbaugh said. Seaside High School is a gun-free zone, but exceptions are made for members of law enforcement. The mainstream media is complicit in the attempted cover-up of this issue, with many outlets overlooking the fact that this teacher was a police officer. Instead, they are using this as an opportunity to point out that guns are dangerous. It is obvious that guns are dangerous, and that is why they should be handled with care, but cases like this illustrate that police officers are no more safe with guns than the average person. Therefore, it makes no sense to suggest that police should be the only ones allowed with guns. Meanwhile, on the same day, on the other side of the country, in Alexandria, Virginia, another school resource officer accidentally fired his gun while inside his office at George Washington Middle School. According to the Alexandria Police Department, the officer was sitting down while it was discharged, and that no one was hurt. They would not say whether or not the gun was in the holster, but if the gun was fired, it is safe to assume that it was not in the holster. Contrary to how the rest of the media is reporting these incidents, guns do not simply go off by themselves. With modern handguns, this is not possible. I just think it was an accident that happened, and we're going to investigate it and find out, and we're going to move forward, Captain D.C. Hayes told NBC. Imagine if another adult or child who is not a cop did the same thing. The school would be on lockdown, helicopters would be swarming the air, and the person who fired the shot accidentally or not would be taken out with extreme prejudice. Instead, this is just written off with very little media coverage because the gunman was a public servant. The captain would not say if there were any students nearby, only that no students were injured and that classes continued as normal after it was determined that everyone was safe. It is important to reiterate that in both of these cases the issue was swept under the rug because the guns were fired by police. In every other case where there is even a possible sighting of a gun, schools are locked down, parents are called, and classes are cancelled. It is also important to point out the convenient timing of guns being accidentally fired in schools as America debates putting guns in schools. Since the debate began, there have been several instances of guns being fired accidentally in schools across America.
County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, you know, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, you know, at least I can do it. You know, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea, too, that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.